Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Secretary, we are delighted that you are here today, so thank you for your time. I do want to say I have been so impressed with the way that you have tackled the EHRM program and that rollout. You and I discussed this in our first meeting and in your confirmation hearing and when you were in Nashville, and thank you again for making the Nashville VA one of your first stops. And I know that you are planning to take the EHR program live, pardon me, in 13 additional facilities in 26. And I know previously we have had an issue with VA employees showing up for the training and then utilizing the system. So talk to me a little bit about how you're going to continue this rollout and then get the employees to actually use the system.
Well, I appreciate that, Senator. And I think one of the things is that we're looking at in this rollout, and I appreciate, and Senator Murray is no longer here, but we talked about this. This rollout is being done in a sense, what I found, when I found the system, basically the VA side of the house was sort of, we're not going to do anything and we're going to make it all individualized. And then you had Oracle side that was, saying we could just finish this in a short amount of time. So what we've done is we've actually now said, put the onus back on Oracle to actually, provide what they're supposed to provide. And we've also cut down on our side the amount of delay that was caused that really caused the initial problems in the rollout, where we had 6 different locations doing 6 different things. So we've taken 8 or 9 committees that were all having to touch stuff before they could get back to a decision and cut that down to 1 committee that then can communicate directly with Oracle to get this started. Dr. Lawrence, which I appreciate everybody on the dais who helped get him through, is our deputy. He is now in place to actually take care of and oversee that, and we're bringing in others right now, and I've committed to him to whatever help he needs to hire to bring in to make sure that our system is safe and useful for our clinicians, to make sure that they have that. And so far we've seen that actually occurring as we go forward. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, and then the employees that were instructed to go through the training, they've shown up and done the training?
As far as I know, Senator.
Okay,
yes.
That is great. And then let's see, how many employees have been released from the VA to date out of your totals?
Would this be out of the probationary firings? Is about 1,000.
About 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that is helpful. I want to ask you about the budget. The president's budget came out last week, and how do you view the resources that are in there for modernizing the VA? And can you give me some examples of how you're going to use these resources moving forward so that the VA is more responsive and in a more timely manner for our vets?
Yes, I think the budget that was presented by the president is actually one that it fulfills the commitment that we've talked about making sure our veterans are taken care of. And I think that's the big issue here when you look at the increases, and for all of the folks who've actually been saying and accusing us of, going to cut health care and cut benefits and cut all this, is just this. It doesn't add up when you look at the budget itself, which is has an increase either on base budget or also using TEF funds as well. So what we're looking at is how do we then use that combined with the efficiencies we're finding, either through our contracts or through our employee base, to make sure that we're putting more of those resources to our research, toward our clinical care, toward our front part, also toward and I know this is a concern from yours, is also toward community care, is how we actually balance the 2 needs. So these are going to provide the resources we need. It also provides enough money to continue the ERHM, the health record management system too.
And then how do we shorten the time that it takes for approval to move into community care? I just left a meeting with our rural hospitals, and they are willing to be a provider. Mm-hmm. And it is so much more convenient for our veterans to get the health care that they have earned and to get it in their communities when they want it, where they want it, at their convenience. Yep. And I think that community care is something that should be moved on today.
Yeah, it is, and we are doing that. I've made it clear to every staff that I meet, and especially in our hospital, that community care is part of the law. Mission Act is there if they meet the qualifications. And also, if there's always a catch-fall that if the doctor sees that they could get better care in the community, they can actually do that. What we have found in the last few years is that actually, and through memos and others, has actually been not encouraged. There was an encouragement to keep everything in the VA. So we're actually moving forward with those kind of things. What we're also finding, though, is there are we have a community care group right now that is actually looking at how we do community care, and I'm looking forward to seeing their findings here in the next week or so. But what we've actually found is some roadblocks that are being put in by our own processes to not get people where they need to go. So that's something that's very important to me, and we're going to continue to look at it.
Well, I'm going to continue to work on that issue, and I appreciate your attention to community care. Thank you.
Senator Rono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.